Obsidian, which is volcanic glass. It's found wherever there were volcanoes, and most of the obsidian that we work with in this area has been trucked in from Yellowstone or Oregon or California, because there's no natural obsidian in this area because we didn't have any volcanoes in this area. And obsidian is volcano spit.
Okay.
Now, how's that looking to you?
Well, that looks
See what I did? I just did a few small flakes off that, like you said, raised it up, brought it back.
Okay, and now I'm going to go in the opposite direction.
Okay.
I've been doing this about a year. He's been doing this about 100 years.
We sure have fun. It's called the art of flint knapping.
He's teaching.
And I'm using ancient tools, which is called abo, and that means aboriginal. Using stone, bone, and antler to shape and make arrowheads out of stone.
And I'm using modern tools.
Chuck
called
is
copper
using
bopper, weighted with lead, so it would be heavy enough to make an impression.
And so we're turning this into that.
Hey, be still. He's trying to.
Or that. This is going to turn into one of these, hopefully.
Yep.
Sometimes smaller and sometimes larger.
Sometimes you break it in half and you wind up with a smaller point than you intended to make.
I think that what I would like to do here was I would want you to take that down. I'm afraid of the flint now. You don't have to be an engineer. I'm certainly not. But what you have to do is figure out how to logically break the rock, keep it on a single plane, take the curves out of it, and then shape it and notch it. And that's, you know, quite a pleasurable task. Once you get into it, it became sort of a hook, you know, it kind of gets its hooks into you and you just want to keep doing it.
How different is your process than what the Indians did?
Mine's exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, I'm doing it just, I'm using this stone right now.
Stone,
I have
bone,
other hammer stones. I have bone, billets, and then I have pressure placers
And
that are antler.
now, did you learn, obviously learn from someone else? Did you go to
Yes, sir. I got sick about 10 years ago real bad, and about after 2 years of being in bed, I got up and could get around, and I said, I got to have something to do. And I've always been interested in artifacts, always surface hunted. I helped on archaeological digs, the King site, Dr. Patrick Garrett. And so I just started experimenting with it and making them on my own. I really didn't have much of a clue, except for I'd seen thousands I'd picked up real. And so I started on it, and then about a year later I got a book. I read it, and then about another year and a half later I was able to get a lesson at a powwow from a master napper. And then actually I had one other additional lesson, and then from there just trial and error.
Yeah. How'd you get interested in that?
Well, I have always been interested in Indian lore and history, and I heard that there was going to be a Knapping at some place, and so I just presented myself and said, I want to learn this. And what I found is that those who nap are very willing and eager to teach those who want to learn it. And he's been doing this a long time, and I've been doing it about a year, and he's teaching me some good stuff. Some of the finer points. I've learned to shape things, but he's teaching me to make them even better.
You do find the knapping community very generous and giving in not only materials but help. So that's what it's about. If I came, like last time I came, I had a whole bunch of rock, didn't I?
Yep.
And I broke it up and gave some to him and gave some to John, another napper. And then this time I had a bunch of that broken stuff, but we grabbed 2 pieces of chucks and decided to simultaneously work both pieces so he could understand the stages better.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got a piece of obsidian in his hand, and I've got my modern copper tools, copper boppers of 2 different weights, and this is my modern pressure flaker, where I use to push flakes off the edge of the tube, fine tuning it. It's a stick with a piece of copper wire embedded in it and filed down to a point. And this is a bone with a horseshoe nail filed down to a point for fine napping or pressure flaking.
Now the word you're using, napping, how is that? Is it?
Napping is a German word. Nap is a German word, and it literally means to strike.
To strike. Okay.
It was termed.
I don't know why we use a German word.
Well, it's because of the flint nappers that were in Europe. They were in little cubicles, the flint nappers, and they were making these flint for the gun flint, for the flintlock rifle. And actually, a word of safety: make sure when you do this, you're outside a well-ventilated place. Don't do it indoors. It's dangerous to your lungs and give you silicosis, which is, it'll kill you. And that's what happened after 12 years of napping in an enclosed space. They had them in little booths in Europe when the flintlock rifle was popular. And that's where the term nap comes from. And a lot of them perished because they had silicosis. But if you're outside, you're fine. It's not going to hurt you at all. And that's just a little word to the wise, you know, because it's worth it. But those fellows, that's where that term comes from.
Okay.
You can't see it, but when you break these rocks, chip after chip after chip, you're releasing silicon into the air. Silica, rather, not silicon.
And if you was watching that one, I just broke that one. Chuck, I'm going to hit this piece.
Start over.
I can
This
make,
happens, you break a lot.
Yeah, I can make 2 awesome Americans.